Hi everybody, it's Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. Welcome to Training Tuesday for Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. It is literally June 27th, 2023. It's just after midnight, and you're going to get to see literally the last few training sessions that I just completed. So it's almost as if you're getting to see them live on Training Tuesday. I hope you enjoy them. It's our coastal carpet python, Zeb. It is my Brettles python, Hera, my Brettles python, Spock, our two children's pythons, Macel and Stubben, and you're going to get a very special look at Rosalee, who had surgery almost 3 years ago now to have a structural defect fixed with her esophagus and the great vessel of her heart. I've done some videos about that. But due to that surgery and that reconstruction that she had to have, she can only eat very, very small food. So she's hungry all the time and she's really exuberant about eating. And I call it a success when she looks at the target and doesn't strike out. I call it a success when I don't open the door and she flies out of the enclosure, because she just has a really big appetite. And unfortunately, she can only eat very tiny meals every few days. We're going to start out with Zeb. He is a Brisbane coastal carpet python. That is the exact same spot that he generally sits in or perches in or rests in every single night. And he was really excited about target training tonight. He made that one strike at the target. That was a prepotent response to excitement, possibly some habit of going for the target, but I just waited for him to approach it slowly and look at it a few seconds before delivering reinforcement. And coincidentally, Hera does sort of the same thing. She looks at the target right away, but she doesn't move towards it too much, and I waited for her to do that, and then she struck. So I just moved the target to her left and waited for her to reorient towards it, and then I reinforced her for doing that and for not striking. This is Spock. He's one of my Brettles pythons. He's a fairly experienced target-trained snake. The other two that you just saw are only about a year old, and Spock's 3 years old, going on maybe 4 years old. And so he's been doing this a very long time, and he is very, very skilled at it. And I generally am able to target him long distances. A few Training Tuesdays ago, you saw him target out of the mega exercise tent and onto a scale station. Note that he did miss his reinforcer, his first strike, and I just reset and let him find it. This is Macel, our youngest of my two children's pythons. You can usually see him surfing along the very bottom edge of his enclosure. He generally always strikes at the target at least once, and then he gets his thoughts together and starts actually thinking. And what he's doing here, which may be difficult for you to see, is he's moving along the bottom threshold of the enclosure, and he has his head just below it. And he's very, very slowly now and cautiously moving towards the target. And I'm happy with that because he isn't lunging at it. He's not striking at it. So I reinforce him. And he is going to do a second session after my adult children's python, Stubben. And we'll see how Macel does on his second session. But this is Stubben. He always strikes at the target to begin with. But I really am challenging him to change directions and do something substantial to follow that target and show me that he understands what it means. So you see that he has stopped the striking behavior, and now he's concentrating on following the target. And I just have him wrap over his perch, over his log, and then I reinforce him because he ended well with that training session. This is Rosalee. She's a carpet python, Morelius pelota. She's undersized, and that's because she had an esophageal defect, and she had to have surgery actually to cut the esophagus from being entangled in the great vessel of her heart, and her esophagus had to be resected. A catheter had to be put in her esophagus while it healed, and it's just can't expand very much now. And so she has to eat very small food items every few days, with maybe a week or two break after she's had several meals. And she really held it together there and didn't strike, so I was pleased with that. And now we're back to our children's python, Macel. He's going to do his second training session, and he is enthusiastically surfing the bottom of his door. And I actually think he was more excited for his second repetition than he was for his first repetition, because he is really pushing at the bottom of the door. And he just spazzes out when I open it, and he kind of just strikes randomly into the air. He lunges across his enclosure and strikes at the target. And I'm asking him to follow and orient towards the target and just calm down, which he finally does, and he rests his little face, his little bottom jaw on the target, and that's how I know that he's finally calm, and I reinforce him. He's just so silly sometimes, and luckily I only see this behavior when I do have the target and he knows he's going to eat. When I do open that up for cleaning or to give him water, or if I handle him, he does not bite. Thanks everybody for watching and for joining me once again for a Training Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed those sessions. They were pretty simple tonight. I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to edit the footage of more complicated sessions that I had saved, and I didn't have time to edit it because I actually had to take a snake to the emergency room today. I had to call 15 different hospitals to find one that would see her because my regular vet is out of town this week. And I did find a very good exotic veterinarian to see her. I had to drive 2.5 hours to get there, and she is spending the night in the hospital tonight. So I will see how that plays out and perhaps give you more information about that when I know more. And my husband has also been dealing with some medical issues the last 2 days, so I've been quite busy with all of that, plus doing the Royal Python Habitat Use Study. We are getting all of the kits together to send out to citizen scientists. Jay-Z from Jay-Z Reptiles was here all day on Saturday or Sunday. I don't even know what day it is now. I've had so much going on. But we spent all day putting 9 kits together that are going to be sent out to citizen scientists. And all we are missing are halogen lamp fixtures, which we are still hoping to get donated. And if not, we are going to have to pay for those out of our GoFundMe. So if you still want to help, please go to the Ball Python Deep Dive GoFundMe and consider contributing, because that is what is paying to ship everything that we need to ship to citizen scientists, and that is what will pay for any equipment that we still need. And right now that's looking like halogen lamp fixtures. So thanks everybody, and until next time, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.